So we are approaching now the area of Meteórak. You can see more clearly in front and on the left a part of the monasteries. The formation of those rocks dates to the Tritogenic era when water has passed from this area and then into the east side to the Aegean Sea. The material of the rocks, as we will
Onda bejöttünk a szállodaiparba. Onnan eljöttünk a tengerpartra. Ott voltunk fent tegnap, és ott sétáltunk le.
everywhere in Greece. So it will be here our stop. The time now is 8:30. At 9 o'clock we shall leave from our stop, approximately at 9 o'clock. I wish you to enjoy your first stop, and just after the stop I'm going to give you some more information about the area. Thank you. You know what? There are some passes, we have them nowadays. It was a part of the Ottoman Empire. Many are the fingerprints of the Turkish passage, of the Ottoman passage, still today in Ioannina. There is a big citadel which dates from the Ottoman period with two mosques inside the citadel that are nowadays housing museums. Here in Ioannina, inside the citadel, we have got the palace of Ali Pasha, the most famous Turco-Albanian governor during the Turkish occupation. Maybe you have heard the name of Ali Pasha from the castle which is situated nearby Parga in the village of Antusa. He was a governor on the 17th century who had built different castles and citadels around the area in order to control it and occupy it. And actually during that period and after the 16th, 17th century until the Second World War, we had got also a big Jewish community living in the city of Ioannina. Approximately 2,000 were the Jews living here. That most of them, of course, after the Second World War, they had been sent to the Auschwitz camps. So nowadays only a very small Jewish community lives here in Ioannina, approximately 60 people. And we can find today the biggest synagogue of the Balkan countries here in Ioannina. I'm giving you this information just to realize that in this city, in Ioannina, we had got a population of Christian Orthodox Greeks, of Jews and Turks, Muslims, so a mix of population, a mix of civilization that were living here for approximately 300 years together. So even today we have got many fingerprints of this passage of all those civilizations. Ioannina is a very safe city, not with a lot of traffic, beautiful city, and it lies next to the lake that we will see in a little while, called Pamvotis Lake. A beautiful lake, famous for rowing races. The team of Ioannina was the first in rowing races in the last Olympic Games. And actually the lake of Ioannina, it is protected by the ecological network Natura 2000, the European Ecological Network Natura 2000, since it is a very important passage between Europe and Africa from many kinds of birds and raptors. About 167 birds are passing from this area or nesting in this area of the lake of Ioannina. In the lake of Ioannina, we will see in a little while a small island called Nisaki. It means the small island in Greek, where nowadays we have got some monasteries dating from the 15th and 16th century. The same painters had painting the monasteries of Meteórak that we are visiting nowadays. And actually inside the island of Ioannina, we have got also a museum dedicated to the life of Ali Pasha, the last days of Ali Pasha, since this famous Turco-Albanian governor had been killed, murdered in the island of Ioannina. So many visitors are passing to this island through some small taxi boats, their daily taxi boats very often. And there is also a small population of 150 people who are living nowadays on the island of Ioannina. Most of them are working in tourism, and they are also fishermen. So if you visit at the city center of Ioannina, you will see definitely the small boats that are passing from Ioannina to the island. Many are the visitors during the whole year round. Many school trips are coming in the winter time, tourists or passengers in the summertime that are visiting this place, the area of Ioannina. So as we are driving through the nearest mountain of Ioannina, the mountain called Meteórak, and we drive up to the mountains, we will be able to see in a little while on our left hand side the rest of the city. Weather. So now this part is of the motorway is full with tunnels since we start to drive in the mountains of Greece and in the longest mountain range called the Pindos mountain range. This is the longest tunnel of the motorway, 4.6 kilometers length. As you can see, it is not a motorway very busy with cars and buses and trucks. It can be busy nearby Igoumenitsa, the harbor of Igoumenitsa, with trucks, either early in the morning, very early in the morning, or late at night, since many of the buses and trucks are catching the ferries to get to Italy. There is a ferry connection between Igoumenitsa and Italy, and many of them they either land to Greece and then travel to Turkey through the motorway, or even to the Balkan countries to the north part of Greece. So in Pintos mountain range, in the mountains that we are traveling now, and we will see many actually as we go to, we are approaching Meteórak. We have got many springs and many rivers. The spring water and the water industries actually is one of the biggest industries that we are having here in Ioannina in the industrial zone. The most famous water industries are the water industry of Zagori and Vikos. And now in front of us we will pass the bridge of the Arachthos River, which is not the longest river, however it springs from our left and it empties on the right to the south part of Greece, nearby Preveza, where maybe you have seen as you were landed to Preveza, if it was in the daytime, a big wetland. It empties to the Ambracian Gulf, this is how we call it, a very important gulf in terms of wildlife. So the longest river of this area is called the Aos River. It springs from your left, from the north part of Epirus, and it is forming a gorge, Aos Gorge, situated in the area of Zagoria villages. The Zagoria villages are famous for the stone houses and the stone bridges, as well as from the gorge that it is formed by Aos, called the Vikos Gorge, which is in the Guinness records as the deepest gorge in the world in proportion to its width from rim to rim. 1 kilometer is the depth of Vikos Gorge, and it is situated a few kilometers from the area that we are driving to our left. As you can see, the whole area is rats for agriculture. We don't see any fields here with olive trees or corns that we had in the south part nearby Parga. So terrain is rats for agriculture, and that's the reason that pastoralism farming is the main one of the main industries that we are having in the area. The milk and cheese industry of Dodonit is the most famous one, situated in the industrial zone of Ioannina. About 60% of national meat is produced here in this region in Epirus. You might have seen, and you will see many farms as we are traveling. And that's one of the biggest industries that we are having. We don't have any heavy industries here of cars or mobile industries. The only industries that you can find in Epirus are the milk and cheese industries and the water industries. Of course, that's the reason that we are having a high unemployment rate. Epirus is considered as the poorest region of Europe. And that's the reason, of course, the unemployment, that many of the population of Epirus is immigrating, used to, and is immigrating still today, either in biggest cities of Greece or abroad, especially in Germany. We had got a very big wave of immigration. After the Second World War, there was a civilian war. So during that time, during the civilian war of Greece, after 1945, there is a very big wave of immigrants from this area, from Epirus to Germany. The mountain of Greece is situated in this area, in the north part, and it is called Mountain Smolikas, with an altitude of 2,600 meters approximately, and actually the rest of the peaks that we have got in the area, and observing the brown bears of the area, as well as the foxes, the wolves, and the lynxes that we have got in this national park. So the area that we are driving is on the right. Even from this part we can see some of the peaks of Meteórak monasteries. But we have to pass in between those villages and the mountains that you have on the right hand side. It is an area surrounded by mountains. On the west part from those mountains, Pintos. On the east part from Billion Mountains. So it is considered as the breadbasket of Greece, since it is a big plain surrounded by mountains. The first of the villages that we will pass is called Panagia. It has got the name of Virgin Mary. Like many of the villages are connected with the Greek Orthodox Church. The majority of Greeks are Christian Orthodox, about 90% is the percentage of the Orthodox in Greece. And actually in the past, a few years ago, we used to have even written in our identity cards the religion. It has been a few years, like 4 years, since we have issued the new identity cards without the religion written on it. Bravo, Nikos, bravo. You must not worry, I trust him more than my husband, so but don't say that to my husband, please. Thank you. All our drivers actually they have been driven in difficult weather with a lot of heat and traffic, so difficult road network. It is getting better in a while, don't worry, not all the road will be like this.
Dugula filan. Menjünk le a völgybe. Szervusz város.
So now you have an idea how the old road network was. You can realize how important it was for us, the construction of the motorway, Fermati, as well as the Ionian motorway.
Mit csinálsz?
Ott van egy út, ilyen kacskarikósan, derék magasságú.
Látom.
Az olyan látszik. Igen. Kirakták a...
Kinézel a Győrfön az ablakon a dobra, azt elszédülsz.
On the left you can see another bridge of the motorway. Of course, the motorway is going to the north part of Greece. We go to the east side, now central part of Greece. So the area of Meteora, many people believe that it is very, very high. The rocks are very high, but actually the altitude of the highest rock that we are visiting today, where we have got the oldest of the monastery of the Transfiguration of the Christ, is only 600 meters above sea level. However, there are many small pinnacles around the area, very, very impressive. We will drive in between. It is an area that it is an UNESCO heritage monument, and it is an area visited, of course, not only from Orthodox. The Orthodox can be Greeks, can be Balkans, Russians, but of course from people from other religions. Since it is a place with natural beauty. The area of Meteora had was a very quiet area, deserted area. It had the first monks on the 9th century when they first arrived and lived on the small caves on the rocks. Only a few monks were living there. After the 14th century had flourished and had become popular in monastic life, between the 14th and the 17th century there was the second biggest monastic community in Greece, here in Meteora. The first and the biggest monastic community is still today situated in the north part of Greece, in the peninsula of Chalkidiki, called Agion Oros. However, nowadays we have got 6 of the monasteries that are still in use and open. There used to be 24, but after the wars, many of them have been abandoned, and of course the monks prefer not to be with people, so there are very few in each of the monasteries that we will see today. We are visiting a monastery with monks. There are 2 monasteries that are with nuns. Of course, our guide inside the monastery will give you some information about the monastery as well as about the life of the monks.
sétáltam még is már. Ott itt van egy kicsit.